Hello, I'm Jerry Winslet, and I'm here to tell you about the new insulation blankets that come with some of the new water heaters. In April of 2015, NAECA 3 went into effect, which raised the minimum efficiency standard for residential water heaters. One way to increase efficiency is to reduce standby heat loss. Standby heat loss happens when heat escapes from around the sides of the water heater when no hot water is being used in the home. One way to reduce standby heat loss is by adding insulation. But adding insulation increases the diameter of the water heater. For applications where a bigger diameter water heater won't fit, we make the same gallon-size water heater with less insulation. This makes the diameter of the unit up to 2 inches smaller. But in order to meet the new NAECA guidelines, a field-installed insulation blanket needs to be added. Using a blanket allows more flexibility in smaller spaces while keeping the heater NAECA 3 compliant. Here's what the insulation blanket looks like when it's shipped with the water heater. The insulation jacket is compressed and it takes up very little space, so it can be shipped with the water heater in the same box. Installing the insulation blanket is easy to do. Just follow the blanket instructions that come with the heater. Because the insulation is compressed, it's best to unwrap the blanket instead of cutting. Using a knife to open the blanket can cut the blanket liner or even cut all the way through the blanket. If you have to use a knife, find the gray seam and make gentle, shallow cuts to avoid cutting the blanket liner. Once the blanket is unwrapped, the fiberglass insulation will expand to about 3 inches thickness. The blanket is shipped in 2 pieces. A large rectangular piece will wrap around the sides of the water heater, and there's a round piece to cover the top. Adhesive tape is included to hold the blanket in place during the installation and seal the seams of the blanket afterwards. First, take the rectangular piece and wrap it around the sides of the water heater. There's openings in the blanket for the T&P valve and side water connections. There's also a flap cutout for the rating plate. Make sure you line up the flap so that the rating plate can be seen after the blanket's been installed. Use the strips of adhesive tape to secure the blanket in place. With the side secured, go ahead and place the round piece on top of the water heater. There's another flap cutout in this piece for the electric junction, as well as holes for the water heater connection and top mount T&P. Once the top is in place, use the adhesive tape to seal all the seams. Installing the insulation blanket is quick and easy, and installing the blanket keeps the water heater in compliance with the new energy regulations and increases the efficiency of the water heater, which lowers the operating cost.